I'm Julia Fisher. Welcome to this week's edition of The Olive Tree and another story from Israel which demonstrates how God is working in the Holy Land today in revealing to both Jewish and Arab people that Yeshua or Jesus is indeed the Messiah. Today my guest is a young Israeli called Avner. We met in Tel Aviv where he helps the Messianic congregation. Avner was born in the south of Israel in the desert, where his parents were farmers on a moshav, the Hebrew name for a cooperative agricultural community of individual farms. These moshavim sprang up during the early part of the 20th century to provide homes and work for the thousands of Jewish people who were arriving in Israel at that time and were part of the Zionist vision of providing a safe homeland for Jewish people, especially those escaping from Europe and the Holocaust. Avner didn't have a traditional Jewish religious upbringing. Although the people around him were fervent Zionists, they were also extremely secular in their beliefs. Avner takes up the story, a story that was to lead him down a very dark path.
Where I grew up, it's the most, I think, secular community in Israel. It's better that you will say that you are gay over there than that you are a religious person. They really don't appreciate religious.
So they were quite anti-religious Jews. They didn't like the Orthodox Jewish people around.
Exactly. But very Zionist, very pro-Israel, pro-country, but they didn't like religious.
What were your plans in your teenage years? What was it that you were really thinking you wanted to do with your life?
I wanted to be a movie star. Or actually, my biggest dream was in a children's channel to be a host.
So when you left school, did you join the army?
Actually, I didn't join the army because I was sick in those days. I used drugs. Like started with marijuana and then moved to ecstasy. And one day I took an ecstasy pill and got out of, crazy. So they hospitalized me for 9 months, exactly when I was supposed to go to the army. So imagine my mother received a letter from the army that I'm nominate to go to be a pilot in the IDF. So it's like the highest way you want to go. And I was hospitalized.
Was that a big disappointment for you or a relief?
I didn't think about anything. I was so... I was crazy. I heard voices, but thank God he got me out of there.
So 9 months in a hospital is a very long time. You must have despaired of getting better.
It's a birth time. In this time, I started to respect God and to understand that there is no other king than He is. Nobody could help me. Even my parents couldn't because I had to go to the hospital because I was dangerous to myself and to other people. So I realized that I can count only on God. And I started it was the first time I talked to Him over there. Yeah. And after this, my cousin, who is a believer in Yeshua, he told me about Yeshua. Immediately, I knew Yeshua is the way. I always had passion for Him, for Yeshua. I always, when I heard His name, I wanted to know more. And I was seeking for the New Testament in Hebrew. I didn't know that it exists.
So when did you first read the New Testament?
After he shared with me, I went and read a lot. And I started to read also the Bible. I always dreamed to read the Bible by myself, without my teacher. I was going only to Bible class in school. The other time I smoked drugs under the school, and everybody, all of my friends, all of the teachers knew that I'm going to Bible study. Like that's the the only thing I was scared about.
So when you came out of hospital, you came out a believer.
Not exactly. It took, I think, 1 year after. Then he shared with me.
What did your parents think?
They were actually happy because they saw the change. Like I was sick. My hands were shaking, and I couldn't communicate. And then suddenly, my back goes straight again, and I had purpose in my life. So they were actually till today they're saying to me, "Oh, you're kind of upset. Maybe you go to congregation today." And yeah, they come with me sometimes to hear. My dad especially loves worship music. He says it's make him calm.
So how long have you been living here in Tel Aviv and part of the congregation here?
Actually, I got back only 4 months ago to Tel Aviv. I was in Haifa for 2 years, and before this I was here for 2 years, so I don't know.
You're helping here with the congregation, Avner, and you're creating a Hebrew website. You're helping to build a new website. Tell me about it.
Yes, it's actually began because one time I went to a New Age festival. There we were evangelized to people. And then one girl, she told me, I believe it's all true. I believe Jesus is the Messiah. But you come here for 3 days and you share with us, you preach to us, and I want to see how you live, if it's real. I want to see if it's real. And this is the purpose of this website. Not to preach anymore to the Jewish people, just to open the doors to our community, to let them see what we speak about, what we teach about, how do we look like. They don't even know that there are Messianic Jews in Israel. One time I was in a bus and I shared my faith with somebody, and he was like joking. He said, you're a Messianic Jew. And then he checked my head to see if I have horns on it. Like he was kidding, but they think even somebody told us, don't you all wear white clothes, or don't you all live in the same building? They don't know. We are a very small and irrelevant community in Israel now, but I believe it's going to be changed.
So what is your vision? What is your passion for the future?
I just want to open the doors for our community, to let them see and not be afraid of us, and that everybody in Israel will have the opportunity to confront with the gospel.
Do you work with drug addicts as well? I mean, you've got quite a powerful story yourself.
Actually, no, because it was light drugs, it's called, but ironically. But I didn't do it yet.
So if we looked at your website, what sort of articles, what sort of pages would we see?
Actually, the website is based on videos. I believe that videos, it's the way to communicate with this generation. I think they don't want to read articles. They don't want to investigate too much. They want you to serve them 2 or 3 minute video to explain, or just to see who we are, That's why we want in this website only Israelis. They think we learned from the Gentiles, all this faith is based on the Gentiles, but they don't know that Yeshua is a Jewish. All his disciples were Jewish. They don't know this. I want to fix it.
And so what sort of subjects are you covering in the videos? Are they just short 2-3 minute pieces?
We are filming every Saturday. Every Saturday that we have an Israeli speaker in our congregation, we film this. And this is a big step because it's, again, opening the doors to it shows them that we are not a cult, that's how you say, a sect, I don't know. It showed them that we are inviting them. We even write beneath the video the location of the congregation. They can come and visit, and we will have this, and also short videos. I want to do short videos that just explaining the Bible. You know, I don't know if you know this, but Israelis, they don't read the Bible. They can't read the Bible, actually. Our language is so corrupted, like it's not like the old Hebrew. So I really have a passion for this language. So that's why I went and learned Hebrew, biblical Hebrew. But my brother and sister, they can't read the Old Testament. So this is another thing I want to do, to make them be passionate about this book, this amazing book. It's our book, you know. We need to open and read it.
A few years ago, congregations would have been very afraid to publicize themselves in that way. There doesn't seem to be any fear in what you're saying.
I'm not afraid.
Avner, a young Israeli sharing his story of finding Yeshua, or Jesus. And you're listening to The Olive Tree with me, Julia Fisher, the program that week by week brings you stories of both Jewish and Arab believers in Jesus living in Israel and the Palestinian areas today, to help us understand what God is doing there at this time, despite the turmoil that's going on in the Arab nations surrounding Israel. The Olive Tree Reconciliation Fund is a Christian charity based in the UK that supports the needs of both Jewish and Arab Christians living in the Holy Land, especially those involved in reconciliation. So if you'd like to know more about our work and receive our free bi-monthly newsletter, please either visit our website, olivetreefund.org, or write to me, Julia Fisher, at the Olive Tree Reconciliation Fund, PO Box 850, Horsham, RH12 9GA in the UK. And if you'd like to hear this programme again, or any edition of the Olive Tree, just visit our website, olivetreefund.org. Join me at the same time next week for another story from the Olive Tree. Until then, goodbye.